All right. Well, hey, everyone. It is Monday night. It is in the month of February already. It's February 7th. My name is Dee Corchin, and I want to personally welcome you to our Coaches Up for Change team time. So good to see you. I know we have some new coaches joining us tonight, maybe even somebody we just spoke to today that's going to join us as a coach. So welcome if this is one of your first calls, or maybe you're just back, or whether you come every single week. We hope you're here every week because this is our time of community, our time for us. And excited tonight, we're going to try something a little different tonight with a little bit more of an interactive call with opportunity for you guys to share in the chat and verbally as time permits. So we're gonna keep it rolling. But I am really excited because one thing that I really love is when there's growth in our organization, because growth of more clients, et cetera, means that we're bringing on more coaches, and you as coaches are hopefully starting to fulfill your dreams as well. So new clients, new coaches, rank ups, that's so exciting, and evidence of our organization and your heart for helping other people. And we've grown so much that the only people that we can really have speak on our calls now are the leadership ranks. And we had 3 new executive directors last month, in the month of January. So tonight, very excited that Jennifer Davis is going to share with us. I've had the pleasure of meeting Jennifer a few times, and she's always plugged into our coach events that we have locally here. And it has just been really exciting to watch her grow. And in particular, when I asked her what was really making a difference for her, you guys are going to want to hear. So Jennifer, would love to hear from you. If you can just share a little bit of your Optavia story and what's making the difference in your business.
That sounds great. Thanks for having me, Dee. I'm really honored to be able to speak tonight. So I might be a little nervous. I haven't spoken in front of a lot of people before now, but just wanted to share some tips about my journey as a coach and the things that have helped me, find some success. So I started as a client in October of 2020, and shortly after joined on as a coach, just because I love people and I love helping people and making a change. And so I love sharing this opportunity with people just because it had helped me so much. And I just knew it could help them have a transformation story and just have a successful journey. So I've really enjoyed that over the past year or so, a little over a year. So a few tips that I wrote down that have been very helpful for me. So first and foremost, it has been staying connected with my coach and mentors. I really try to set up a call each week with my coach, Meredith, so that I can learn from her. We can set goals together. We can talk about what's worked in the previous week or what we might want to change in the coming week. And it just keeps me focused, keeps everything top of mind as far as Optavia goes, and just keeps me excited about what we're talking about. So, if I go weeks without talking to her, I can see myself just kind of putting things on the back burner, not being focused and not being excited. So this has really helped me, keep Optavia and everything going on top of mind, so I can share that with my clients too. Secondly, I try to be consistent on social media. So I try to post, in my stories as well as on my timeline. I love sharing transformation before and after pictures. I really feel like those tell a story and they draw you in. It's a quick opportunity for somebody to see, the change that has happened in someone's life. And it's not just how they look, but it's how they're smiling, how their eyes light up, how they're showing up, for their family and for their kids. And so I really love sharing those transformation stories, of myself, but also of other clients that have seen a lot of success on the program. Third, I created a list, and I know in some of the trainings, they call it a hundreds list. And so I'm kind of an Excel nerd. I went to Georgia Tech, so I like to keep everything organized in Excel. And so I just jotted down people that have come to mind that I think could benefit from the program, people that might have reached out after I've had a post or something, somebody who I might have done a health assessment with, but it didn't follow through to an order. And I just try to keep that list and go through it, each week and say, to myself, do I need to reach out to that person? Kind of where did we leave off? How do I need to follow up? And just keep those conversations going instead of just letting the conversation die. So I love having that hundreds list, because every time I look at it, I think, oh yeah, I need to text that person, or I need to be in touch with that person. So that's really helped me, remember who I want to speak to and who I want to introduce this to. So fourth, I would say I love participating in the community calls and in Dee's Monday night calls. I try to plug in as much as I can. I like repetitive information. So as I hear it over and over, it really sinks in and I can, use that in my day-to-day coaching. But I love because it keeps me excited and motivated about Optavia. It's always positive stories. Everything is good news, right? And I know that's a little bit unfair to say, but I know that people have struggles and things like that. But all in all, we're seeing people's transformations. We're helping them reach their goals. And there's just nothing better than that, right? That's all good news. So I try to participate in the trainings or the boot camps that are online as well. And just learn from other leaders and other communities on what's been successful for them. And I just take a piece of it from every single one I listen to. And, it all builds up to something good. So, again, I just love to jump all in, kind of fall in love with Optavia and all that it has to offer. I just really haven't found anything negative about the community and about the coaching lifestyle. So that's been really fun, to share that and to just know that we have a gift that we can share with others. We can offer it to them. They can decide if it fits in their lifestyle and if they, want a predictable and successful program to reach their goals. We support them, with our weekly calls and check-ins. We invite them to the community calls and things like that. Just help them engage so that they can see how wonderful the community is. And last but not least, I just like to have fun. I love starting conversations with people about their family, about things that are not even health related, but just engaging with people, in this time to show them somebody cares about them. And it's just fun to help them find what their goals are and daydream a little bit so that they can see that things are achievable. So that's just a quick little rundown of things that have worked well for me. But all in all, it's just loving on people and just helping them create their success.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. I hope you will go back and read the comments, the chat that was coming in. Some great compliments for you. And, I think I rarely heard you use the word I. It was all about what I heard was what you were doing for other people, and what brought you joy was what was happening with other people. And so that, I think, is one of the fundamentals, is just the energy of how you come across. But I hope everyone heard the staying connected with her mentorship, the sharing transformation stories consistently, being connected, and that 100s list. I mean, having a tracking system, you guys, makes the biggest difference in being intentional. So very good. Thanks so much. And I saw that you were registered for Grow Global.
Yes, I'm excited to go. That'll be my first. Well, I went to convention, but that'll be my first big event. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, good. It's going to be exciting. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
and we did some shares in our coach group and also with in the client group, but I want to make sure you don't miss out, or that I actually want to make sure that you have full understanding of something that's incredible that's being expanded to our entire organization. And that is a new interactive client community call that happens on Tuesday nights at 8. And I really wanted and excited for Jordan Rosa to share about this. Jordan had a vision for this. They rolled it out with the dream team, and now we're going to expand it to all of Eat, Live, and Be Healthy. So Jordan, can you share a little bit about this with the group?
I sure can. Guys, have you ever had a client that you talked to for the first 4 days and then you're like, where'd they go? What happened? And maybe they, respond to a text here and there and they say, oh, sorry, I've just been super busy. Oh, I couldn't connect this week or whatever. Anybody have that? I know I did. And I heard about these community calls from another IPD, and they were wildly successful because it was helping catch those people that maybe, their schedule didn't work out for a call. I know for me, like, I'm a busy mom. I try to work when my kids are not around so that I can be present with them. And so this call is for your clients and coaches, their clients. We're opening this to all of Eat, Live, and Be Healthy. And what you can expect is 30 minutes of really good, intimate community time, just like Dee was saying. I really have enjoyed explaining to people, like, Monday nights, we still have that community call available to you. That is a national call, but this is your community. This is people from, it was, just the dream team, but now it's going to be people from Eat, Live, and Be Healthy. And we, encourage them to have their camera on. We also don't force anybody, right? Because some people are like, whoa, Zoom. But it's a good way to get them integrated, a good way to help them, see that this is a real group of people. It's not just names on a website, right? And so you'll get coaching they will get coaching from different leaders in our organization around topics that your clients are asking about. These are going to be very intentional calls, very intentional time where, maybe everybody's struggling because it's the Super Bowl in a week, right? So we may, give tips around that, around social settings. That's just an example. I don't think that's what we're talking about this week. And then there's also going to be an opportunity for client spotlight. So if you see, if you're one of the ones who gets to present, then if you've got clients that you see amazing coach potential in, ask them to share their story. And what that's going to do is open up an opportunity for other clients to come off of mute and ask questions and get answers and celebrate victories. And I just wanted to give a quick example of how I'm inviting clients, what the languages that I'm using, because anything new, sometimes it's good to have, kind of an outline. So I'll say on our weekly check-in, right? Hey, just wanted to remind you about our Tuesday night community call. Those are from 8 to 8:30 Eastern. Do you think you'll be able to be on? And I'd say, well, I'm not sure. Okay. Well, I would highly, highly encourage you. Just want you to know that is your community. That is a time for you to plug in and get connected, put faces with names, share victories that you have, struggles that you have, and really just be embraced by other people that, some people they've just ordered their kit and they're coming to this call. Some people are, in transition and maintenance or have been maintaining their weight for years. Some people are in the thick of it right where you are. Can't encourage you enough to show up, and I'll text you the link and encourage you to put a reminder in your phone at this, at 7:55, right, with the link right there so that you know where to go. And then we hang up and I'll send them the information, which Lauren did a wonderful live about that earlier today, but it's in the link tree, the 411 link tree. There's a live flyer. We're also going to be putting out a flyer each week with the login information, but don't hesitate to ask questions about it. We're happy to help you get there because these have been really, really cool for helping clients get integrated and hear the same things that you're already telling them, but from other voices. Thanks, Dee.
Thank you, Jordan. And thank you for initiating this and opening it all up. What happened was they were seeing rapid expansion. I mean, up now, like 80 people on each week, a lot of clients. And we thought, why not have this available to everyone? So encourage you to hop on yourself tomorrow night. It's at 8 o'clock. One thing that was a real game changer for me is I started asking, this was for the Monday night calls, but I started suggesting to people to actually put the event with the Zoom link in their calendar, whatever calendar system they use. And so then they'll get their reminder and the Zoom link is right there. Just put it in as a reoccurring. And that has made a huge difference in the attendance. And then people aren't texting me, where's the link? So that might be helpful to you. Tonight, we're going to move on into our call, and the discussion tonight is about the Coach Explore, with primarily a focus on what is the purpose of a Coach Explore and how do you invite to the Coach Explore. So 2 weeks ago, we did a presentation on like the mindset of sponsoring. Why would we want to sponsor? Last week, we talked about the value of the tips call and what does the tips call look like? Why would you want to incorporate it? So now this is actually on the invite process to ask people and invite them to take a look at coaching. Not asking if they want to be a coach, but do they want to take a look at coaching? So really excited to partner with Lisa Bloom tonight on this. Lisa was an individual that I directly approached about the opportunity of coaching, and she has built her business with a lot of coaches. So Lisa, do you want to kind of step in here and take it from here?
Yeah, thanks, Dee. Hey, everybody. So we're taking a little risk tonight because what we are counting on is your participation and interaction. And we usually have a really good group of people in the chat. And often, as you know, we come to this call with some people lined up to talk, and we only have one, well, three, me, Meg, and Dee. So we know that there are some of you out there that might put something in the chat, or you have something to say and you're sitting back. We want to hear from you tonight. We want to hear from anybody who wants to talk. No pressure, but you know, we could sit here in silence too. So one way you can interact, Dee, I'll ask you to kind of look through all three Zoom screens as I ask questions. Also, you can put things in the chat. If you look on the lower right corner of your Zoom screen, there's a button called reactions. And when you click on that, there's something that says raise hand. So you can raise your hand. It'll put you in the top left corner of my screen, and I'll be able to see you as well. So the first question I want to ask, well, before I ask the question, one of the things I love about Optavia is that we have a predictable, proven process, not just for a program, but for coaching. So we know that there are things that we can do that are duplicatable. There's nothing you have to create or invent in this business. We also know that, as with program, and you'll see it in your clients, we sometimes form thoughts or concepts or feelings around every element of the program, every element of the coaching process. And one of those things is the Coach Explorer. So before we start diving in, what I'd like to hear from you, either in the chat or come off mute, raise your hand. What do you think is the purpose of the Coach Explorer? There are no wrong answers.
To find out if coaching is a good fit for them.
To find out if coaching is a good fit for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
I think it's to address some of their fears and concerns around coaching that maybe they have been afraid to ask, and this is a really good, safe environment for them to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
Just to give them the idea of community, where they can kind of see that it's a broader, more intimate space for mentoring.
Yes. Yes. Give the idea of community. Awesome. Was that you, Alona? Or I see, Alona, I see your hand up. So if that wasn't you, go ahead.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sorry, yes.
Okay. All right. I see Bonnie's hand up. Bonnie, go ahead.
Thank you. I think it really helps them learn about what coaching is about. They don't have to necessarily make a decision. They may know nothing about it. So it's really an educational process.
Yeah, an educational process. Awesome. I'm seeing some great answers in the chat as well. To awaken, to get a feel for potential interest, gather interest, identify, share, give an opportunity. These are all great answers. And Sarah, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say, so they can really get the sense of just how rewarding coaching can be as well. I think we can touch on that aspect of it so they can really see how fulfilling it can be in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. Connie.
It gives an opportunity to dive a little bit into the questions from the health assessment, maybe that they hadn't had access to expand the why, to dream a little bit bigger and to touch deeper, on some of those areas, especially if you've had limited time during the health assessment.
Yeah, awesome. All right, one more, Kim, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, I just think it's an opportunity to really spark an interest, right? It's not only just to see if they have an interest, but they may not have thought about it. And I love the way Shauna does the Coach Explorers. And I think it really gets people sort of excited and they start thinking and dreaming about what is possible. So for me, I've seen a big spark get lit in people when they do those.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. These are all great answers, and absolutely 100% the definition, the meaning, the intent behind the Coach Explorer. Now, let me ask you another question. How do you feel about approaching someone or inviting someone to a Coach Explorer?
Nervous.
Nervous. Anxious. Michelle. You're on mute.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
There you
I
go.
actually get excited because we don't know what if their window is open or what they're thinking until we get that opportunity to really speak with them. So I get excited when I see the potential in somebody and see if they want to explore that.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Monica.
Myself, sorry. I actually feel I'm still a little uncomfortable with it. I feel uncomfortable. Like I feel pushy and that I'm maybe it's coming across like I feel salesy and like maybe I'm just pushing an agenda. I mean, I know I'm not, but I still wrestle with that a little bit. So I hesitate to do it. But like when I take to them to the tips call with Shauna, she does such a beautiful, seamless, just like blend of her words into it that it's just so natural. And most of those people are wind up being interested. So just want to learn a little bit more of her style. I know she'll teach me. Obi-Wan, she will teach me. But yeah, right now I still feel a little uncomfortable with it. Like I'm pushing something too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. It makes sense. And I am guessing there are a lot of people. If anybody else feels that way, put a 1 in the chat. Samantha.
I actually love that we have coach explorers because I feel like sometimes like when as much as I talk them up and I know how great of a coach they would be or what an awesome opportunity, it's so good to have somebody else who can say the same thing, but maybe in a different way. But I feel like it's always good, especially like to have someone who has more experience coaching and someone who can kind of give a different perspective and help them through. Because I know I'm still learning about how to talk about coaching, and I love hearing Lauren talk about it with my clients because it helps me to learn as well, but it also kind of just reinforces like the gift that we have. So I love it. I always feel like somebody's got my back, when it comes to helping my clients see how awesome it is.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Samantha. I saw a lot of 1s in the chat. How many of you wish you could feel the way Samantha feels about it? Put a 2 in the chat if you wish you were right over there with Samantha in the top left corner of my screen. Yeah, so here come all the 2s. So let's sit for a minute in the discomfort. And let's think about when we feel uncomfortable, when we feel nervous, when we feel like we're pushing an agenda, or when we feel tentative or sensitive or anxious or even kind of hopeful. What action do you take when you have those feelings? What action are you taking around inviting people to the Coach Explore when you're feeling that way?
Or not inviting, right? Because not inviting is also an action.
Inaction is action.
Inaction is action.
Yeah. Debbie, kick fear in the face and do it anyway. Okay, so push through it and do it. How many of you, though, get still and breathe? I love that. Set an intention and let go. So that's sitting in the discomfort. That's recognizing the discomfort. And there's something to be said for that, y'all, because you can't move through something that you don't identify, that you're not aware of. So it's important to do that. Take a slow, deep breath. Yeah, Sarah, you have your hand up.
Well, I just feel like that a way to work through that discomfort and asking someone to come to a coach explore is to do your celebration calls with your coach and your clients, because that way, if you're uncomfortable talking about coaching still, your coach is likely not, because they've been coaching longer. They feel more comfortable with the verbiage. They know how to approach it a little bit better. So if you're coming to your celebration calls, then that's a really good opportunity for coaching to be brought up by your coach. And then you can go ahead and your coach may invite them to a coach explore. So I think celebration calls are crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the process, and part of the process we follow. So just for a minute, I'm going to turn it over to Dee. Think about in that discomfort before you push through it. what's happening in there. Because sometimes I think when we feel uncomfortable, like Dee said, we don't invite, we don't take action. We sort of walk away, or we find something else to do. Fear, sweating, and silence. Exactly. We're sitting in that. And then sometimes we push through it and sometimes we don't. And sometimes it's because either we're not clear on what it is we're doing or why we're doing it. We're not clear on how to do it. And we're going to cover some of that as well. So Dee, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. If this is helpful for you guys to kind of process through as a group, maybe put like a 3 in the chat, just like if you like kind of wrestling through this together, because I think it's helpful. And 2 things that I saw were somebody said that they get nervous because they start to overthink it and what the person's response is going to be. And somebody else said that they were unsure how to do, like I think it was more about unsure, like how to describe coaching. And the beautiful thing about this invite to the Coach Explore process is it's just that. It's an invitation to see if their window is open. Will they take that next step to explore it? Because we're not asking them, and I think it's important for us to get clear in our head, we're not asking them at that moment, do they want to be a health coach? We're just asking, would you like to learn more? So the Coach Explore, it's in the team coaching format. So it's real important, you guys, that we separate the invitation to explore it from the actual delivery of what coaching is. Because think about it, very similar to the health assessment. If somebody stops you and says, hey, Samantha, tell me about your program and how much does it cost? Right? Well, you're immediately going into defense. Well, it really doesn't cost that much. It's actually cost neutral. It's, you know what I mean? That is not what the health assessment does, right? Health assessment finds out what they need. Then we talk about it. Then we talk about cost and we deliver how it's cost neutral. It's a totally different conversation. So it's the same thing with coaching, because the coach opportunity, because if we offer it and we say, hey, would you like to take a look at coaching? And they say, well, no, I don't have time to coach. And we say, well, it really doesn't take too much time. We've gotten into that defensive posture mindset. And all we're saying is, would you be willing to take a look? Because at this time, would you agree, you don't really know how much it takes or what the potential advantage to doing this is. And so the Coach Explore itself, what it is, it's really similar to the assessment, that we are awakening them to the opportunity and also asking questions to connect the opportunity to what it is that they want. And like we talked about before, and what I think Sarah mentioned, is that the people ahead of you, whoever you're mentoring with, can deliver and ask those questions and probably even edify what you've already said or alluded to, but they can edify the whole process and it helps them to see it bigger. And the big thing is again, we're not asking for a yes or no at that moment. So I'm often asked, well, how do you do that? How do you invite them? The question I always say is, hey, you know what, from what you've described in terms of whatever it is, right? You'd like some extra income. You're concerned about how you're going to keep your weight off. You're struggling with the program. From what you've described, I'm thinking coaching might be a fit for you, or a good next step. Is that something that you would be willing to explore? And you might get the immediate objection, and we may have to take another time to talk about what those objections are. But if you get that, what I always say is, you know what, I'm really not asking yes or no. What I'd love, and I think would make a lot of sense, is for you to get full information about this, and then you can know what you're saying yes or not yet to. Now, did you catch what I said there at the end? I didn't say what you're saying yes or no to. I said, you'll know what you're saying yes or not yet to. So because of the time constraints that we have, I really want you to hear from Meg Johnson. Meg is somebody I invited and talked to about coaching a lot. We specifically walked through the Coach Explore process with Susan Pallas. And then Meg is, a big believer in the process and brings a lot of people to me now for Coach Explore. So Meg, can you pop in for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. So that Coach Explore is really what, for me, pushed me over the edge, because I knew Dee believed in me, but I still had a lot of disbelief in myself. So when I came to the Coach Explorer and did that and saw Susan Palace see something in me, it helped me to believe in myself. So there is power in this team approach. So I love Coach Explorers. I think they're so powerful. And I love what we talked about tonight. So I hope y'all are taking little nuggets down and writing them down. And I hope we put them into practice this week, because I know that there are coaches on the other side of our fear and our fear of the Coach Explorer. I personally have had some resistance over the course of my years as a coach. One of the things that I struggled with was I didn't want to use up Dee's time, because I thought, you know what, I can do a Coach Explorer on my own, right? So that was one of the resistances that I had to work through. But here's what I found. These Coach Explorers, yeah, I can do them on my own. But you know what Dee brings to the table, and what your FIBIC is going to bring to your table is the fact that they're going to edify you as a coach, right? They're going to tell your new coach how great you are at guiding them. Not only that, but you're going to hear information from this potential coach. We're just going to claim it from this new coach who doesn't know it yet, that they've never shared with you. It's interesting the questions a third party can ask, because they don't have all the noise that we have. So it's powerful. And then finally, one of the most important parts is I want to do a Coach Explorer with Dee or with my mentorship, because when that new coach becomes a coach, I want to make sure they do it with me. And if I don't model that well, then there's going to be a disconnect in my integrity, right? And they're going to be like, why do I have to bring somebody to you for a Coach Explorer if you didn't do that, right? So it's really, really powerful to follow the process, just like we do in all of Optavia, right? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. And I guarantee you, your coach or your FIBIC would love to do the Coach Explorer with you. So I'm going to double dog dare you. See if you can find 2 people to do a Coach Explorer with this week, and see what freedom is on the other side. All right, Dee, back to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Meg. And that was the challenge for tonight. Meg and I just think alike, which is awesome. So, and what I want you to do also is that if we are just thinking about our current client base, I just heard this in a Dan Bell training. If we are just thinking about our current client base for coaches, we are great. We are thinking small. We have a world of people around us. We have entrepreneurs. We have all sorts of people that are looking for new opportunities, and that could benefit from coaching. Lisa is a great example of that. She was somebody in my world that was not affiliated with Optavia. So as you are looking to make set up these 2 Coach Explorers, be thinking in your outside world. This would be getting to that 100s list, to that chicken list that Jennifer referred to at the beginning. This is how the magic happens, guys, is when we start reaching and thinking bigger. So a quick raise your hand, just a real hand, or a 1 in the comment. Would you like a part 2 on this? Would you like to continue the conversation around this? Okay, I can think in double hands. All right. Thank you to the awesome Lisa Bloom for facilitating this with us tonight, to everybody who came off mic and spoke with us, to Jennifer who shared, to Jordan who shared, and we'll continue the conversation. So thanks so much, you guys. Let's move on over to the other calls for this evening. Bye-bye.